In the ever-shifting landscape of modern politics, one truth remains undeniable: the public is fed up with empty promises and finger-pointing. Political leaders, both seasoned and newly minted, have too long basked in the comforts of hypocrisy, misdirection, and lackluster accountability. If the democratic process is to remain credible, we must demand more. And yet, time and again, the same tired political maneuvering rears its ugly head. The very essence of leadership is increasingly diluted by rhetoric that lacks the power to bring about real change. The result? Voters are left disillusioned, their trust in the system eroded, and their expectations shattered. It's high time we address the core failures of today's political elite head-on. First and foremost, we must face the uncomfortable truth that politicians, regardless of party affiliation, are largely motivated by self-interest. The notion that they serve the people has been hollowed out. The moment they are elected, they surround themselves with sycophants and power brokers whose primary interest lies in maintaining the status quo. These figures are not public servants, they are political operatives whose sole aim is to ensure their own careers flourish. And what's more troubling is that the public's outrage often fails to spark any meaningful reform. In the UK, for example, we are witnessing the gradual erosion of democratic values, with political leaders constantly pandering to populism, while failing to deliver on the very promises they made to the electorate. Take, for instance, the recent turmoil surrounding the resignation of Prince Harry from his charity role, along with the entire board of trustees. The accusations of bullying and internal dysfunction are a stark reminder of the political games that play out even in non-governmental organizations, underscoring a far more insidious reality: the priority of personal interests over effective governance. The departure of Harry and the resulting chaos at the charity is just another example of the pervasive failure of leadership. One might argue that the foundation of a well-functioning political or charitable institution should be rooted in trust, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to purpose. However, when individual egos take precedence, it undermines not only the mission but also the broader fabric of collective governance. This disarray is a symptom of a far deeper problem in political culture. Furthermore, there's an urgent need to confront the hypocrisy of modern-day political elites. Take the situation with Prince Harry, for example. His decision to distance himself from royal duties was billed as a noble move toward independence. However, the unfolding drama within his charitable endeavors reveals an unflattering truth. This isn't about personal freedom or a commitment to charitable work, it's about preserving personal power and status in the face of mounting scrutiny. The allegations surrounding the charity and the bullying claims from Dr. Sophie Chundulora are symptomatic of a leadership crisis that cannot be ignored. The prince's departure from the charity, after a breakdown in professional relationships, raises an essential question: can we continue to tolerate leaders who abandon their responsibilities the moment things become difficult? In the political sphere, this phenomenon is more than a mere nuisance. It is a cancer eating away at the credibility of the institutions we are supposed to trust. When political figures, whether in the UK or elsewhere, step down or shift their allegiances in the face of controversy, it sends a powerful message that leadership is about self-preservation, not accountability. And worse still, the public's frustration with these leaders is often dismissed as mere noise, as if the concerns of the electorate are inconsequential in the grander political theatre. But here's the crux of the matter: the political system can only function when those at the top of the ladder operate with integrity, transparency, and a genuine desire to serve. When political leaders fail to live up to these standards, it leads to a catastrophic breakdown in public trust. We are not just talking about minor errors or slip-ups, this is a fundamental failure of the political system. And yet, despite this, political parties and leaders continue to evade accountability, operating in a bubble immune to the consequences of their own actions. This is an unacceptable state of affairs. At a time when we need more from our leaders, we are instead subjected to an endless cycle of finger-pointing, scandal, and the same tired excuses. The media, in all its forms, is not exempt from this failure. Too often, it becomes an enabler of the same toxic practices that plague the political landscape. Headlines are more concerned with sensationalism than substance, and the stories that matter are sidelined in favor of distractions and trivialities. The result? The public is left to wade through an ocean of misinformation and half-truths, all while the true issues remain unaddressed. Ultimately, it is not enough to simply demand better leadership. We must actively challenge the systems that allow such leaders to thrive in the first place. Political reform, while crucial, will not be enough unless it is paired with a culture shift, one that values honesty, accountability, and the willingness to act in the public's best interest, rather than to serve one's own ambitions. It's clear that the political establishment, in its current form, is not working. And as long as we continue to accept the mediocrity of our leaders, we will be complicit in perpetuating the very system that fails us. It's time for us to demand more, to hold those in power accountable, and to ensure that the next generation of leaders understands that their duty is not to their own careers, but to the people they serve. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now.